nerds and nerdettes, and we little nerdlings all. What's up indeed? It's your buddy Big John and G, and this is Two Gun Picture Presents Legendary Gaming. And it's all legendary. So thank you for joining me here. Next Monday is going to be busy. Next Monday, I got a double video. Now, my Mondays, I'm the most behind on. In consideration that most of my videos I'm 3 months ahead of schedule, some of them a year. I have like 2.5, 3 years worth of unboxings. But my Mondays, I usually wait a week or two beforehand to put up. Especially the beginning of the month Mondays, because they have to deal with more common stuff. Like the shout outs. So I like to know everything that's going on, beforehand. So those are usually the last videos that I do. But next month, which is next week, I've got the What's Up July video that I'm just finishing up now. And on top of that, then there's the summer catalog. Yeah, because we have just about everything set for the next 3 months beyond even. So yeah, summer catalog. So next Monday is going to be a big double kind of video. So I got a lot to talk about. I always have a lot to talk about. I could always do a monologue. That's for sure. I say that's for sure a lot, don't I? That's for sure. All right. I'm just getting over a bad back. I threw my back out pretty bad like 2 weeks ago. That really slowed me down. Another reason when you have an opportunity like YouTube to get ahead of schedule, you should always get ahead of schedule. But yeah, I'm ready to get back into some Hero Quest. I got a couple more games I want to play of the Forbidden series, but then I want to really jump back into Hero Quest. I want to get some of that done. I've had a lot of good positive response from the Dungeons and Dragons cooperative adventure system, and of course there's 3 more that I haven't done lately. Since I've been doing most of them again, or is it 3 more I haven't done? I didn't do the Legend of Drist. I didn't do what else? I didn't do Mad Mage. And I didn't do Tomb of Annihilation. Then I didn't do Ghost of Saltmarsh recently. So I can get back into that too. I know that was a lot of fun for a lot of people. So sure. And then you see the unboxings. The unboxings now lately have been from Uncommon Games, and Uncommon Games has this big, huge system. If you've looked at the unboxing of that. Kind of like Brandon Fraser's The Mummy with steampunk thrown in, and that's both a dungeon delve, or as it's supposed to be played. It's a big campaign, bordering on some feeling of legacy style stuff, without being a complete legacy style game, but having that feel. So I'd really like to get into that. My Sundays where I play the big games. There's not enough time. It's not enough time. All right, but there's been enough time lately to drop all these damn videos this past month, huh? All right, so going backwards to the most recent, since that's just the easiest way for me to do it here, from the most recent video drops and comments to going back to the beginning of the month. And there's been a few on this. This has been getting some good hits. My Tales from the Table series, where I've been doing the 2 now. I've been doing behind the screen, where I show you my build, how I build, what I'm building, why I'm changing aspects of a module, what works best. Doing all the DM stuff, for you guys, and for me, obviously, and my players too. But then the other Tales of the Table is the following week is always them, my players, telling you what's going on in the adventure. You guys have been loving that. I'm so glad because we are right up until... I think I just dropped January. I just dropped we're up to January as far as being ahead of schedule on those Tales from the Table. So I'm glad everyone's enjoying them. And right here we have Nurbach. That's a silent K. Knurbach KNURRBAUCH1. Just one day ago, on our Tales from the Table, Speaker in the Dreams Behind the Screen Part 1 Beer Fest and Street Fairs, says that looks very cool. Overall, that's generally what I've been hearing, especially with the Brendan Ford Speaker in the Dreams build that you've been seeing last week and this week, or last month, right? The first one dropped last month. Also right here, Stephen Gilbert, 8166. Welcome back. Nice to see you, Stephen. Says that's an awesome setup with double smiley face. And Valen D, another one. We haven't seen you in a while in the comments section. Thanks for coming back. Says, man, that looks awesome. And awesome is all capped. I have so much fun doing these builds for my D&D group. In fact, I have an upcoming video. It's going to be in 2 weeks. Beginning of July. No, end of July, beginning of August. I have a video, Midday Monologue Monday, talking about theater of the mind, so to speak, versus table building, since I've done both. But yeah, I do have a lot of fun with it. I'm glad people like Nurbach and Stephen Gilbert and Valen D and the rest I'll be mentioning later as this goes on, I'm sure. I'm glad you're all enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun, me bringing you the behind the screen aspect of it, showing you, what your DM goes through. What your DM goes through. If they do table builds, and if not, still talking about the module, the game, getting things ready, their notes. It's really important, I think, and it's a lot of fun. So any of you that have been watching this, like the ones I mentioned, Nurbach 1, Stephen Gilbert, Valen D, are you appreciating this from the DM side of the screen or from the player side of the screen? Where do you sit at your table? You're making comments. Here about our D&D Tales on the Table stuff. I want to know who's making the comments, a DM or a player? Come on, put that in the comment section. Let me know. Another old friend with a different video here. Another old friend of the channel. And I got to do this right. Starship Chiru Studios. And I'm going to keep pronouncing it that way because I'm stuck. So 7097, how you been? Good to see you in the comments section again. So for our slideshow, this is just the recent one. Slideshow Gaming, Villains and Vigilantes, the card game. Interesting comment you dropped there. I don't know if you were being funly sarcastic or honest, but I'm going to tell you. So you say, this game looks very fun. I love the cards. The art is so old school style. For me, that would be from the 60s to the 80s. So yeah, like most of my viewers, Starship, you are in my age category, right? You're a Gen Xer. I mean, there's when you look into the generations, right? I'm an early Gen Xer, sometimes called Generation Jones, because I was born prior to 1970, and my parents were the silent generation, not baby boomers. But nonetheless, you and me seem to have grown up in the same time period. And if you're an old gamer, I mean, come on, Chiru, don't you remember Villains and Vigilantes? Yeah, that was from Fantasy Games Unlimited. Another great game by them, me and my gang back in the day loved was Bushido of ancient Japan, Nippon. Yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, Villains and Vigilantes. This game, not the card game, the role-playing game that's based on, stole us away from Dungeons and Dragons. This was the first game. Now, we had played others. We had played games from TSR, basically. Gangbusters, Boot Hill, Gamma World, Star Frontiers, Top Secret, for short periods. Jumping in for one adventure here, one adventure there, but then always going back to D&D for our big main campaigns. But when I got Villains and Vigilantes, that changed everything. This game took over my gaming group like no other game at the time had. And to this day, Anthony will still talk to me about it. Me and Dennis can still reminisce about it. It's a game that had so many caused and created so many memories for us in these first ever superheroes that we got to create, play, and be in this role playing setting. And a lot of the art from the card game, although from what I remember, the art in the card game is not directly taken from the old game. Now, if you're a familiar D&D fan, if you remember your basic and your first edition AD&D, Villains Vigilantes was created by Jeff D and Jack Herman. Now, if you are into the old school D&D art, Jeff D is a name that should ring a bell to you, because he was one of the first regular artists. He's up there with I'm drawing blanks on everyone else. Now, I'm sorry, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Errol Otis and the others of that whole genre, that time period. Jeff D, who also at the time, from what I understand, he was a kid. He was a teenager. He wasn't much older than me at the time that I was playing these games. And he was doing this fantastic artwork. His artwork was being sold and used and bought by like TSR. And then him and his buddy Jack Herman created their own RPG about superheroes. And of course, it was all his artwork exclusively. So now I don't think the card game uses Jeff D's original art. If I remember correctly, what it's doing is the artist that they got for the game is drawing in Jeff D's style, so that the game is reminiscent, because Jeff D does not own the card game. That's been licensed out. So I think that they were just doing it in his style. But yeah, that's why it looks like from your childhood. Again, if you're in my age category, which I'm pretty sure you are, because it is literally, at least what it's based on, was drawn to be in the style of, and it does a great job of capturing that style. But yeah, Villains Vigilantes, man, I still got a couple of my books, I think. I'm not sure. No, actually, I don't think any of those survived the fire from 2009. Maybe I should get some of those again. I got my right there. I got my Marvel superhero TSR game. That's good enough. And my Mutants and Masterminds second edition. That'll be good enough. Oh, am I the asshole? Now this is a series that is up in the air. But I think it should be, because, it's a series of attitude. It is. It's attitude and judgment. It's a very judgmental concept. So I understand that not everyone is happy with some of my thoughts and opinions on things. But so be it. Now this, Am I the Asshole? Dungeons and Dragons edition. How is the fourth edition of it? How dare you kill that character? Edward Birdsall 6580 says a dead NPC is now a ghost with unfinished business. Eventually may become a reborn. Information is still available. That's going real far for a damn NPC. I mean, Bobby Singer, is excluded in this. Bringing an NPC back as a ghost thing is a bad idea. Gotta love Bobby Singer. But no, really, the reason I say that it's a bad thing to bring back a dead NPC who died normally, okay? From everything we read in that Am I the Asshole? It's not like the DM did this on purpose. In fact, the DM was very explicit about, there were several times that they had every opportunity in the world to leave this NPC be so the NPC wouldn't die. And they just didn't. Now, the reason I say this and have this attitude is, this is an NPC, right? This isn't a main character. I'm not even going to say player character. The main character. And there may be several main characters in the story, because this is a D&D. So it's a group thing. But outside the main characters, no one else should be of a level of importance to bring back as a ghost or to resurrect or anything like that. Things like that should be within the province of the main characters, the heroes. As far as good storytelling goes, unless, a trip to the underworld is different. I'm not talking about, that's a standard in archetype. But as far as bringing back a dead character as a ghost regularly to interact and to fill in its old role again is bad, lazy writing. It completely is. No, it's a side character. It's a secondary character. It's an NPC. It does not get that level of attention, of love, of devotion, of main characterness. No. Completely wrong. If that's what's going on, completely wrong. And no. Lazy. Stupid. Learn the fundamentals of storytelling, will you? I honestly, everyone that's gonna have the balls to DM should take some sort of class on storytelling, and then you would know these things. Bringing back NPCs as ghosts and resurrecting them from the dead, just so you don't have to introduce a new NPC to fill in their role. That's what life is, even if it is RPG life. All right, Midday Monologue. Too many RPGs, not enough time. Again, Stephen Gilbert. So glad you're tearing up the comment section again there, buddy. Says, nice monologue, bud. My long-term D&D campaign has been running over 19 years now, 27 players. Some of who come and go as time permits. Others who make just about every session, and the occasional one-shot player who joins in, of course. But this game world, but it's the game world that lives. And my players just live and inhabit this ongoing living world itself. So it feels like a lifelong epic saga. I must have over 10,000 pages of notes, short stories, campaign journal write-ups, photos, and live video takes written up for the campaign at this stage. The campaign is our main RPG and is an ongoing thing, as well as one or two lesser RPGs that we play for a change of pace from time to time, but these are more one-shot things. We do tend to break up the session to make sure that we don't get burnt out. Say it's what we do here. But board games are a wonderful way to do this too, because they can, as you say, be played for fun when we simply just want to sit down and have an afternoon, evening, or evening's fun. Though our RPG sessions tend to go on for hours, right into the night sometimes. Yeah, Stephen Gilbert, we're right here. There you go. We're right there. Wow. I mean, although I have been running games, I've been playing since 77, I've been running games since 79, I can't say that I've ever run a single campaign quite so long. I imagine probably the longest campaign that was run was with me and our gang, right around, moving from well, we all went to parochial Roman Catholic school, so we didn't have elementary and middle school. We just went to elementary school. That took us straight to 8th grade, and then we went into high school. So yeah, right around that time, switching into high school. For me, being around 6th, 7th grade, and then right up until about my finished run of high school, that group of my first gen players, basically is who they still were at that time, was probably the longest run campaign that we had. I can't remember much of it at this point. Been almost 40 years, right? But yeah, the whole the run of the same characters that we were doing, we had characters that we would retire, and then sometimes we would bring back. So we were playing in the same world. That's never changed. In fact, even the campaign that we're currently running, the Speaker in the Dreams campaign that's currently dropping right now on my 3rd and 4th Thursdays, now and moving forward, the Tales of the Table episodes, they're part of a greater living world. I know exactly what you mean, because I recently told the players when we were getting into this. Now, you see, we had done a run, which I recently done as a Big John G's 5 favorite modules. That was the last run we did before this group started with Forge of Fury last year. And in that run, if you haven't seen the video, we started with, I know it's a basic module, but conversion's no problem when you've been playing them like we have at our age. Right, gang? Everyone out there knows what I'm talking about. You can grab any basic D&D module, run it as an AD&D module, and you're not even going to have to use conversion notes or anything. Come on, we can do this. So that's what I did. I ran before the Lost City, and ran that right into us getting thrown, because we pissed off the pixies, and we got thrown right into, at the end of that module, into X2, Chateau d'Ambeville, and then from there, by the time we solved the problem, we escaped, and we were put back into our home world of Oworth, because I play everything out of Greyhawk. Greyhawk. We jumped into A1 through A4. We did the Slave Lord modules. And those 6, we did that straight through. Not like we're doing now, taking a break from our main campaign to play a 2 or 3 offshoot and then back to the main. We just did those 6 modules. Boom, 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 boom. Boom? No, take that last boom back. We did, and it was fantastic. And that's right around the time, by the time we finished that, COVID was just starting to become a thing, and that slowed down our group. And then next thing we knew, New York City was shut down. And that put a big stop on things. But the reason I bring that up is because I told the players now, because a few of them, like Kyle and Ryan, were playing in that game, and Tom were playing in that. So I let them know that all happened. That all happened. And with that ended, actually it ended with us just starting the Giant module. We had just started G1, and it was the scariest thing the players had ever encountered, because it was the closest thing to the bloodiest, most awful, pounding, beating, death, total party kill that they would ever have encountered. It was actually just pure luck that they survived and escaped. And that's when COVID hit and everything stopped. So I told the gang, I said, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Everything else happened. Everything else. B4, X2, A1 through 4, that happened. But that's where it ended. And the world is still continuing. And now when we finish Brendan Ford, Speaker in Dreams, that's when we're moving off to the Giants. All the information that our past characters got from the Slave Lord stuff is going to be filtered down to our characters, and we're going to continue the story and the adventure. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And of course, for about 10 years, just before 3rd edition came out, well, maybe not 10 years, be a little bit more realistic. Let me say 6 years. About 6 years before 3rd edition came out, me and my group at the time had kind of gotten a little burned out on D&D, and we had just wound down. So we had spent, just by the time 3rd edition came out, so there was about a year of us trying to figure out what to do. So maybe a solid 5 years that we were playing World of Darkness. We started with some Vampire the Masquerade stuff, and then got into Werewolf the Apocalypse, and I just absolutely fell in love with that as a storyteller, which is what we're going back and doing now, actually, as the break in between Speaker and the Dreams. But yeah, and that ran for like 5 years, continuous campaign, same characters, same storyline. It's amazing. It's amazing when games do that, and that's one of the best things I think about RPGs, is that they do that. There's no one out there that's had a 5-year campaign of Monopoly. God, I'd shoot myself. Even if it was the D&D Monopoly, I'd still shoot myself. But RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, Star Wars, anything you're playing there, Castles and Crusades. This is an ongoing living world that you continue to be in, and a good DM does understand the concept of a living, growing, continuing world day to day, regardless of what his players are or are not doing. Yeah, it's wonderful. It really is. What are we up to? That was Stephen Gilbert. Yes, thank you very much, Stephen, who also had a comment for our Pixie playthrough. of Dungeons and Dragons Temple of Elemental Evil, the Escape solo run that I tried to do. It says, goodness, that was close. Wow, well done, smiley face. Do you know I've never been able to complete that one without being utterly annihilated? Very enjoyable. Thank you. With another smiley face. No, obviously I did not know that. Seemed like a wonderful guy. We probably get along very well, but I don't know you, so I didn't know that. But yeah, wow. There are so many games that I have trouble beating too. I think I've only just finished my second win after 6-7 years. Only got my second win under the belt for Friday. So I know how it can feel. But I mean that. I know how it can feel. What I mean by that is, so you lose a game. And you lose it again. And you lose it again. And you just can't beat it. But you still play it. Because regardless of being fun, I mean, regardless of winning, the game is a ton of fun. I jumped ahead of myself half a sentence. No, but regardless of winning, the game is just so much fun. You got to keep playing it again. And it becomes more than just you versus the game. It's more than you at this point just needing to win. Of course that's there, but it's more than that. Because the game is fun, you still just want to play it. So good luck. Good luck, Steven. Give that run again. Give that solo escape run again. You can do it, man. I barely did. Made a few mistakes, but I don't think any of them are attributing to why I did the win at the end. Just, the one mistake that I make a lot in that game, what almost cost me the game there, was too many monsters. You really have to control how many monsters are coming out. And sometimes that means you just got to bite the bullet and take an encounter card instead of exploring an edge. I think I might have done better if I just explored one less edge. I mean, I still won by the skin of my damn teeth. But isn't that what helps make it exciting? Yeah, it is. Damn well sure is. Oh! Brawling Board Games, Marvel Champions, the card game, versus Sentinels of the Multiverse Deluxe Edition. Yeah, I haven't done a Brawling Board Games in a while. I had a couple of ideas. I think there's a couple of games that we've played that this can, be a part of in that series. But John X140 completely disagreed with me and said, I'll take Sentinels. Thank you. Hey, they're very close. And if I remember correctly, that episode was also very close. I think Marvel Champions only won by 1 point. I think it only just scraped by. So it's not like even with me it was a huge defeat. But then again, Deluxe Edition doesn't need to exist. I'm sorry. The yes, the Deluxe Edition doesn't need it because the Enhanced Edition was perfect. In fact, the changes between the Enhanced Edition and the Deluxe Edition are really kind of minor. Unless they've made more since it originally came out, the DE. But at the time of its Kickstarter, it barely made... Yes, the art was different, slightly improved, but as far as the game rules go, it was barely changed at all. That whole DE is nothing but a money grab. Absolutely nothing but a money grab. All right, Midday Monologue, Board Game Burnout. I was talking about RPG Burnout a moment ago. We have 4 comments. 3 of them by our old buddy, the Shogunstein, and 1 of them by another old buddy, Stephen Gilbert. Shogunstein said, I think there are too many games these days made worse by people with too many games, and it's tiring to learn the rules for new games every week that you never get to see again. Are you talking about me, Shogunstein? I think you're talking about me. I know you're not talking about. Oh, you kind of are, but I know you're not talking about me. We talk enough. I know who and what you're talking about. And yes, you're right. I mean, think about it. Almost every time I do a Pixie playthrough or a Friday Night Filler, I'm looking through rules again. Because in between playing things live, I'm playing things off screen. Different rules, different games, but similar rules, but they're different here and they're different there. I mean, look at me last night. Last night, I was playing and lost because my own blindness. Lost the game of Forbidden Island. And I kept getting confused. I kept thinking I'm getting 4 actions a turn because 2 nights prior, I had just played Horrified, where with 1 or 2 exceptions, all the investigators, the heroes, the characters get 4 actions a turn. And that was throwing me off. I kept catching myself. I don't think I took 4 actions at all last night. But I had to keep catching myself is the point. Because you're right, there's too many games, too many rules, and it gets worse when there's so many similarities. Similarities between the game styles, the game genres, the game mechanics. It is tiring. And you're right. There are too many games. I'll admit it. There are too many games. And not just as a base number, which there are. Just basic speech here. There are too many games. But you can splice this and dice this and cut it down within a hair's width. The fact that there are too many similar games. There really are. You know, just think between the Dungeons & Dragons cooperative adventure system, Hero Quest, and Descent. Right there, 3 games. They're all the same. They're all different. I understand that the nuances between them. I have them all. I've played them all. I do understand the differences, but yet I still feel like, why? Why do they all exist? Same thing with D&D. Why does Pathfinder exist? Why does Castle and Crusades exist? Why does any of this Tunnels and Trolls exist? Why? I know. I've played, looked at, examined most of them. I see the differences. I get it. But still, really? Do we need them? I see where you're coming from, Shogunstein. You also say, I think there are too many games these days made worse by people with too many games. And it's oh, you just said this. Okay, you put the same comment in twice. But you also did say, did Ryan start the fire? No. I'm not sure why you say that. Did I make some comment alluding to that? If I did, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have. No, he didn't. There was a shitty wiring in this old freaking pre-war building. No, Ryan didn't have anything to do with that. Stephen Gilbert says, I am halfway through listening to this episode, even as I'm writing this. Just wanted to say, during my lifetime, I somehow managed to accumulate enough games and stuff to run a pretty decent-sized game store. Not to mention just over 25,000 miniatures. It was getting ridiculous, and to a stage where I wasn't even enjoying anything anymore much. Gaming was becoming almost a duty and not a passionate pursuit. So about 5 years back, I took a long look at what I had and went, oh boy, this has to change. And so I picked a nice size hobby room in my house, decorated it how I liked it, and then I decided I would fill it with things that mattered to me, leaving me plenty of room to play and paint. And when I had finished, anything that did not belong in the hobby room was given away or chucked. I felt like Bilbo. I felt like Bilbo casting aside his ring. But the second I did it, I felt an almost intense emotion of euphoria. And I have never looked back since. It was the best hobby move for me that I have ever made in my life. I'm just waiting for a bigger room. Oh, will I be there? Yeah, I could be. I could be at some point. I'm almost there now. I'm trying to think of a way I could talk the wife into changing the small game room and the large bedroom and interposing them, but I don't think she's going to be crazy about that. Yeah. Pardon me. What's in the Pixies box? Stronghold Games. A video got Shogunstein to leave a comment here. I remember a couple of years back when a bunch of people lost their shit when Target got the Terraforming Mars card game before the Kickstarter backers did. I also see I forgot to put a thumbnail on that damn video. Stronghold Games, yes. Did we get it? We didn't get it. Really? Okay, so yes, I did, back. There it is, Terraforming Mars, the dice game, which is what the video is about, what Shogun Scene is talking about. But honestly, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Hey, Shogun Scene. Yeah, Stronghold Games. Thanks for watching, brother. Yeah, I don't. I didn't pay enough attention to it. It was on like my kind of like Kickstarter back burner. So I got the game. Well, I backed the game, and then I kind of forgot about it. Didn't bother checking out comments or anything like that. It just when it got here. So I didn't know there was a whole big thing going on about it. I think it was the card game from a few years ago. The card game, maybe. Yeah, I never did get the card game. This is the only version of Terraforming Mars that I own. I still got to get it to the table. I've done the unboxing. I got to get to the table and play it. Big Johnny G's how to play Uno Flip Marvel. So from Friendly Neighborhood Geek 99 said, thank you for this. You're welcome. I really do appreciate when someone makes a positive comment about my how-to play videos. Because as I say every time, and it's true, I just don't feel like I do the best how-to play videos out there. So when someone enjoys it, it makes me feel great. Been a long while. Maybe I should make a new one. I'm not sure what I'd make it on. I'll look into that. Was there another comment I missed? Shogunstein. But people were so angry that they had to wait like 2 days extra. Oh, wow. Jeez. Was their violin small enough to deal with their problem? Oh, my God. They had to wait a couple of days. Jeez. I mean, I get it. Being a Kickstarter guy, I get it. If we as backers are promised, a copy of the game before it goes to retail, not every Kickstarter does make that promise. You gotta really read it. But in these cases, when it does, and then it's being sold on Amazon or Target before I even got it, that pisses me off because what the hell? Especially when it's being sold with all the stuff. Yeah, Kickstarter exclusive stuff really needs to tighten up on what is exclusive, what they're allowed to call exclusives, because anything that doesn't come to the backers first and or only is not exclusive. Pardon me. I always bitch about people taking a drink on camera. Being a professional here, I'm doing it. But a lot of times the videos I watch is they're edited videos, and that's what pisses me off. If you're in an edited video and you gotta take a drink, edit it out. Booty Dice, Gaming Radar for Booty Dice, and this is you, Shogun. Wow, the next 3, 4, at least 4 here. 5 looks like are all from you, Shogunstein. Wow, thank you, brother. For Booty Dice, I bought a pirate game a little while back, and the designer wrote an apology note that the theme was pirates, but he had no trouble taking my money. Why would you killing it? Thanks, Shogunstein. Why would a designer apologize for the theme of a damn game? I mean, in light of the amount of zombie games and Cthulhu games that are out there in the market, the amount of cowboy games even that are out there in the market. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of pirate games, but it's not flooding the market. Why would you apologize? I mean, dude, it's your game. You designed it. You're the creator of it. If you apologize for it, why did you put it out in the market? Because pirates are problematic. Oh, is this some sort of PC thing? What's problematic about pirates? Everything's PC problematic these days. Surprised I haven't been canceled yet. Gotta love paper money in a game for Deadwood. Yeah. Yes, Shogun. See, I think in Western Legends they do it good because they have the 10s and the 20s or the 5s and the 10s, is it? But they do it as plastic. The cards are little tiny plastic bills. No canceling, Big Johnny G. Thank you, Shogunstein. Woo! One of the truest channels here on YouTube. Whatever the hell that means. Minotaur I can speak. Slideshow Gaming from Minotaur Shogunstein. You said looks very Minecrafty. They were going for that, 16-bit, 8-bit, the old computer, Commodore 64, they're going for that look. So that's why it looks Minecrafty. Like Minecrafty and, 8-bit, 16-bit, all right. It's the same basic kind of look. Yeah, and I think it achieved it well, especially with with the way everything slides. I don't think I did a tabletop on this yet, a Minotaur yet. Did I? I can't remember. I had to go in the file and see. But yeah, they also accomplished the computer look by there's only what, 9 cards out, I think it is. And when the next 3 come out, everything slides down. So it gives that old school video game feel, Commodore 64 days, yeah. For the Unbroken, me playing the Sage, Shogun Scene said, I actually feel guilty about how much I love this game, knowing, I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with. I'll read that in a moment. Hold on, Commodore 64. I know where you're going with this, Shogun Scene. I actually feel bad too. I do. I know you. It's like, John, how can you feel bad the amount of times you play it online? The amount of times you go live, how can you feel bad? I do. Shogun Scene says, I actually feel guilty about how much I love this game, knowing how many people got screwed in the Kickstarter. I do not think I ever made any content with this game because of that. Such a shame that this great game will forever be associated with such a terrible Kickstarter. It is a great game. You are absolutely 100% right. Everything that you wrote there, Shogunstein, I agree with totally. We were both there in the Kickstarter. We both know what happened. It was a game that I really looked forward to. So therefore, I was following everything, all the comments, the updates. I was that guy on that Kickstarter, and I'm sure you were too. And it's sad. I mean, without getting into everything, but with GameCrafter, it was a GameCrafter, right? That ended up buying it out and taking it over. Kind of screwed up a lot of things. The production of it got completely screwed up by it. Both the company and the designer shit the bed. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't it his first game? It wasn't his first game. I got to give him some leeway with that, if I'm correct in remembering that. Man, the poor guy, from what I remember, it was his first game, his first Kickstarter game attempt. Didn't know a lot that was going on. The guy ended up on the people's... Really? You're shitting me. American TV? People's Court? Did any board gamer, cover this? Oh, do I smell content? Am I that horrible person? Am I going to use that for content? I might. I got to check it out. But yeah, that sucks. Oh, all reality, all jokes aside, everything, that just sucks, man. I had to go on TV Court. Damn. And I was so looking forward to because the box, and there was mention of it too in one of the last updates, was the sequel, which was going to open the game up to multiplayer. Oh my God! Come on, how much? I still pine for that. Oh, some small designer sued him over her small. Oh, really? The game company boss, yeah, from another game. Oh, geez, this sounds like it should be a documentary. No, I'm not doing a documentary. I don't got time for that shit. But sounds like it could be, right? Wow. Oh, man, kind of threw me off course here. Oh, and you said something else, too, up here that I missed. Didn't you? Commodore 64, this generation does not appreciate... No, it does not. I did see a couple of Commodore 64 simulators that you can get, and there just wasn't enough games on it that I was going to justify, buying it. It was like $80. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess. But I wasn't going to... Because most of the games that I really loved on it, the games that I tore up, I spent all day on, were all the SSI games, with the exception of Wasteland. Oh, I know. We still talk about Wasteland, this holy grail of a Commodore 64 game, one of the greatest post-apocalyptic text-based games of all freaking time. Yeah, me and my friends used to play it as a group. We would all make a character. And then whoever, like my friend Tim's house or my house here, whoever we were, whoever's Commodore 64 it was that we were playing, we would just tell them what we do. Got up to a decision. Okay, this is what I want to do. I want to unload my Mac 10, or I want to heal. I want to bandage or something like that. Yeah, that was great. Oh, God. But yeah, so the only games I would get on a simulator here, you can get a jump drive full of the old Commodore 64 games, same old in television. And yeah, I've seen a lot of that. But my point is, I haven't seen any that have the SSI contract legality. And that's all I want to play. Besides Wasteland, the only thing I want to play on Commodore 64 is the Dungeons and Dragons and the Buck Rogers SSI games. You know the ones I'm talking about. Oh, hell yeah, you do. And if you find that, if I'm wrong, Shogunstein, or anyone else hears this, if I'm wrong and they do sell some sort of jam pack Commodore 64 simulator thing that has both Wasteland and the SSI D&D and Buck Rogers game, I'll spend money on that. But unfortunately, it's going to cut into my video making time. But true, I would totally buy that. I would. Deadwood, Minotaur, Unbroken. So yeah, I'm with you. I do. There's a part of me that feels bad every time I air it. But the game itself is so freaking awesome, and I just love it so much. Go to the vintage gaming conventions, and they fit all those old games onto a drive, which you then use in your current computer. Oh, that's interesting. Thank you for the information, Shogunstein. Thank you. Big Giant G's. Oh, here's what I was just talking about. I was talking about this earlier, probably 20 minutes ago, about halfway past. I was talking about this. Big Giant G's 5 favorite Dungeons and Dragons modules 2DM. And Shogunstein, you thought that was a good list. It's a damn good list. I'm telling you. Actually, it was 6 games, right? Because I had the honorable mention. But yeah, you play. If someone wants to DM their group through some of the greatest modules in D&D history, that is the order to do them in. I guarantee you, you're going to get the best experiences. Now, as I mentioned up front earlier, I have a feeling from things I've read, things I've seen, people I've talked to over the years, that with the exception of us Gen X, first 1.5 generation D&D players that were there for basic and the original advanced, no one else seems to, they all seem to have a conniption when it comes to, oh, how are you going to convert basic D&D to advanced D&D? Oh my God. They're like hyperactive Muppets on crack. Just calm the F down. It's not a big deal. It's not a problem. It's extremely doable. In fact, you could, as long as you have the monster manual and the DM's guide in front of you to, maybe look at any updates on monsters and or traps, and you got your DM screen, your AD&D screen, don't worry about it. It kind of adapts itself naturally, organically. But yeah, so you do that run. You start with B4 and X2. You start with the Lost City, and you start with Chateau d'Amberville, and you just get in your mind, how does this happen? Because Chateau d'Amberville is in another dimension. So they have to get there somehow. Now, the module says that while they're camping, between cities, going between quests or whatever, overnight, a fog, very Ravenloft-like. And this is before Ravenloft, by the way. Very Ravenloft-esque, the mist comes and traps you in, and it kind of traps you in this alternate dimension. Or you could do like I do. My players thoroughly pissed off the Pixies. Wow, big time. So by the time the end of the module happened, the Pixies were like, hey, thanks for getting rid of Zargon, but you know what? You guys are douchebags. Boom. Just, F-I-A-T. Fate. Right? DM's fate. DM's fate. Just boom, that's it. You're cast into another dimension. John, do we get a saving throw? No, you don't get a saving throw. You're gone. You're done. But the rotate, do we get a saving? No, you don't. I'm the DM. You don't get a saving throw. This is plot. Deal with it. And then I'll get you into Chateau Amberville. And by the end of Chateau Amberville, you are going to be sent back home to your home dimension. So whether you're playing out of Faerun or Oerth, you'll be back there. And that'll give you time to jump right into, hey, the slave lords. Well, you've been gone. They've been raiding your family and friends, your hometown, your favorite aunt's town. All the NPCs that are important to you are either dead or enslaved. And they're not coming back as ghosts or being resurrected. They're NPCs. Do that. And, wow, that'll get you to the giants. Now, the other thing is, I say, if you really want big impact for the long term, I also suggest, and this is going to be harder to do in Faerun than it is in Greyhawk, Run the drow as a myth, as a legend, as boogeymen, so that when your elf players finally really run into a real drow at the end of A4, or was it A3? If they're into role playing and they're really rolling ROLE their character, they're gonna have a knip shit. I already used that word. They are gonna lose their shit, and it gives an extra oomph to the story. Yeah, that's the route you should go. You should. It's the best. It's the best. Oh, there's other great modules too from that time period, but stringing things together for a complete run, that's the way you want to go. Anakama Games, I was mentioning before, because of their series. Does it have Fest Parker and James Whitmore? No, it does not have that. Funny. I do hope to get that to the table though soon. Seriously, I'm looking at it right now. Arceus, I'm dying to try this in a dungeon mode, and if it's fun enough, and I get a couple of the 20-sided warriors on board, we'll do a campaign of it. That'd be fun. Rock Paper Wizard. The Tabletop Takeout Shogun Scene said, our friendly local gaming store has demo copies of this. We should try it. You should. You should. It's familiar enough that you're going to be able to jump into the rules right away. Rock, paper, scissors kind of stuff. And with the exception of the fact that you're playing an entire party of wizards that's working off of one spell book, which is, it can happen during the plot line of a story, but, normally isn't the way wizards work. They usually have their own spell book. But you get over that hump. Get over that hump. And you're going to have a lot of fun with this game. Yeah, it is. Wherever you're pointing at. Stephen Gilbert had a couple here. As I'm throwing a lump in my throat again. Hold on. So oh wow, Stephen, you went far back in my list. Thank you. So for a Pixie playthrough, I wasn't even dating these then. I was still numbering them. This was like 4 years ago. Pixie playthrough number 36 for Against Darkness, Caves of the Kobold Slave Masters, Chapter 1. Steven says, I know this video is old, and I've already left a comment way back when it first was presented. But I don't know where else to write this. I think your Caves of the Kobold Slave Master is easily the best showcase game for Against Darkness anywhere on this planet. And I've been dying for you to go back and do more of them. He's not yelling. I'm just adding that for fun. It's not just the narrative, characterization, and the storytelling style that you use, which is so cool in its own right. But it's also massively due to the fact that you combined the book alongside the miniatures and the terrain, making the whole experience a 3D visual aesthetic feast. Without the miniatures and your stop-go pictures of the action, the thing would have lost something valuable and become like all the other YouTube videos of the game. But oh man, the way you did it should almost be mainstream viewing or put on a Patreon DVD or something. I've waited and waited. I know you are so busy. Hoping against hope that you will go back to this format and make a load more For Against Darkness videos. Pretty please, LOL. Steven. At least twice already. Last year, and I think the year before that. I have promised something because it is 100% completely on my mind. Exactly what you're asking for, Stephen. I did. I loved making those. And just like you said, this whole channel started because there was no how-to play video or enough videos, I thought, at all on Dungeons & Dragons infighting. So when I have a game that I like, and I can't find enough videos or what I consider to be good videos on a game I have and I like, it really lights a fire under my ass to produce something. Besides for fun, what is the only other purpose of this channel? It would be to present the games that I love. Now, For Against Darkness is a game that I want to do this for again. I want to do I have, my stack of books, I keep looking up because that's what they are, has at least doubled since I did that. I have some more adventures that are short, and because that's what the first thing I want to do is I want to find short and easy, because this is very time consuming. And I have a couple of short and easy ones to do. And I have so much more terrain now with the Warlock stuff that I've gotten over the last 2 years. The Warlock Cavern stuff, the dungeon stuff, the city stuff, and also the battle systems. You should look up battle systems. Great English company. Cardboard stuff. Not a lot of people are into the cardboard stuff unless you're really looking to go a little bit cheaper. And these aren't a lot cheaper, but they're worth it. But yeah, between the battle systems and the Warlock tile stuff, I think I can do it visually even more justice. And I like the fact, because that bothered me. There's something that bothered me. So I'm glad that you pointed this out. I thought it was I thought it was tacky. Okay? I thought it was tacky that I was kind of going back and forth between shots of the book and the dice rolling. And then jumping to the much cooler, terrain and miniature stuff. But reading what you wrote here, that you actually think that that's one of the things that really separated this video from any and all of the other For Against Darkness ones that you've seen. Thank you, because that puts in my mind now that I was right, or at least one other person thinks I was right in filming it and doing it that way. So now the question is time. That's the question right now, because it's not only For Against Darkness, but I also, if you haven't, there's been a few videos and I got to do some more because the system is really good. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this here. If you're familiar with Marching Order, Marching Order is very similar in style to For Against Darkness, and in fact, in some of the they sent me this. This was all sent to talk about, make videos for. But yeah, and some of the updated rule stuff actually is a little bit more For Against Darkness. I feel like they took some cues from For Against Darkness without completely feeling like it's just a ripoff, because there wasn't enough difference to begin with. But yeah, I want to do this also. In fact, there's one playthrough that me and the 20-Sided Warriors did of this. We got through one floor online, live, and I want to turn that into the same thing I did with For Against Darkness. I want to give both these games that treatment, because I think it just works absolutely beautifully. It'll work fine with Marching Order as well as For Against Darkness. So yeah, so time. It seems like every single time I start getting ahead of schedule to a point where I'm feeling comfortable. And by that, I mean every single day of the week. Every single day of the week. No gaps, right? Obviously, except for my live days. Can't do that ahead of schedule. But yeah, the rest of them, I need to be, for my own OCD, I need to be a full 3 months, 1 week, and 1 day, Monday, and up to the following Monday. That will make me feel that even if I run more than a week behind schedule on this, it's not going to put me more than a week behind schedule on my 3 month ahead. So I think I'm about a month away from that achievement. I do believe that before I hit August, before we hit August, I'm going to be at a minimum of that spot. At which point, I am going to go and do the Marching Order. I'm going to do this first. I'll do the Marching Order in the same style I did For Against Darkness. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a For Against Darkness. And these are the best 2 games I have to work that system out. So give me till August. And if by the end of August it hasn't materialized, Stephen, hold me accountable. Hold me accountable, Stephen. And anyway, and not just Stephen, anyone watching this that's like, yeah, I want to see that too. I want to hold you accountable. Please do so. Because I do work best with a fire under my ass. Always have. Steven. Man, making a comment on this exact episode last month, in the May episode of Viewer Comments. You said, yes, yes, yes! Star Frontiers! And mixing would work just fine, my friend. My wife would be very happy to see anything from Star Frontiers 2. As for D&D, as mentioned so succinctly in your video, should we let it die? Oh, that was a good video. That was a good video. Go back and watch that one. We should let D&D die. That was a Midday Monologue Monday. It was a lot of fun. So as mentioned in your video, should we let it die? What can I say? That episode simply rocked. All caps is. As you hit the nail squarely on the head in perfect, logical, expressive symmetry of truth. And thanks for the reply to my comment, bud. Made me laugh to hear my demonstrative exclamations expressed back to me. Love it! Smiley face. Star Frontiers will be fun too. I'm looking at it right now. Still got my box. Still got my TSR box, Star Frontiers. It was a good system. I liked the idea that... So, okay, it was a little... So, coming from D&D so early on, moving into Star Frontiers, where basically there really was no class. You would, if I remember correctly, you were just working for the Space Police, Star Rangers, or whatever the hell that particular game called them. Well, you were dealing with crime, but also in the bigger picture of the known inhabited galaxy, dealing with what the hell the worms called? The Sathar, right? They were called the Sathar, the evil worm creatures. And trying to get information on them and stop their agents. Really cool, but it was the first time I felt pigeonholed in a game, because that's what you were. You were an agent dealing with that. But me and the guys, we quickly didn't care. In fact, I think, if I remember correctly, they actually enjoyed the fact that they were playing badged characters, so to speak. Like, you know, they were all 007 licensed to kill, and they loved it. Star Frontiers would be a lot of fun. But yeah, and they did, and did I also mention that video? Is that what you're talking about? Mixing it, right? Because they did Dragon Star with 3rd edition, with the open game license. There was a hardcover book that came out, Dragon Star. Actually, I think I want to get that again. I want to find that. Because that was that was a space version of Shadowrun. Almost. Shadowrun, you know, this sci-fi, almost not really apocalyptic, but almost apocalyptic style, kind of dark tech future mixed with magic, running around the streets and jacking into computers and stuff. But this Dragon Star was like that, but it was in space. It was like Buck Rogers. It was like Battlestar Galactica. And there were dragon races, orc races, dwarf races, but they're all both technologically advanced, and they still had magic. I like that system. There was at least 2 or 3 core books. There was, I think it was at least 2. I want to get those again. I like those. That was a good system. Tales from the Tables Bigger Than Dreams, Part 0, The Gates of Brendanford. Oh, we're breaking back. This is going to be it. Yeah, Bjork 5178 said, love it. Love it. Thank you very much, Bjork. Woo, all right. So that looks like we are all caught up with the month. Excellent, excellent. So thank you, everyone that's taken the time, moment to make a comment. Watch a video of mine and make a comment. That's great. So yeah, hopefully by the end of August, I'm going to have up, or at least be filming and editing. I don't know what I want to call it. I got to get a name for the series. Miniature movies? Maybe miniature movies. Two Gun Pixie presents miniature movies. How's that sound? Huh? What do you think, Pixie Posse? All right, so Shogunstein, everyone else that's been sneak watching on me like a ninja in the dark, thank you very much for checking this video out. Anything you need to know, just ask. I love answering questions. I'm your buddy Big John at G. The Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and I am